Hello and welcome to the Real Talk and Banter podcast, the movie podcast where we discuss and review films that are at least a decade old. I'm Omari Williams.
I'm Jay Richardson.
What the hell was that?
You take such a big gulp of air in the beginning. It is so funny.
Yeah, I had to make sure my lungs were properly oxygenated for what we're about to embark upon.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, today we are discussing Planet of the Apes, the original 1968 sci-fi fantasy film. My selection, of course, one I was very excited to talk about.
Why it gotta be a course? It could be my selection.
You did say you hate apes, though, or monkeys, or what'd you say?
I have a thing against apes, yes.
Why? What have apes done to you?
They just bother me.
What's on
I don't know.
Why do they bother you? What's the problem?
They just bother me. I have no rhyme or reason. I don't have some kind of story. They just bother me. They always have, and I'm just like, gross.
Gorillas knocked on the glass when you were at the zoo when you were a kid or something?
One kidnapped me, I think. I was taken.
Oh,
and
gosh.
then, I was saved. And, Harambe was murdered, but,
Put down. Yep, of course. There we go. All right.
But ever since then.
So this is your first entry into this franchise?
No. I've seen the early 2000s one time, but yeah, this is the first.
The only one you've seen is probably the worst one in the entire franchise?
Is that the worst one?
The 2001 one by Tim Burton?
Yeah, I think it was Tim Burton, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Is that the one where like the
the
ending scene is like Abe Lincoln?
Oh, spoiler alert.
For 2001?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, gosh, let's give people some heads up. Yes, we will be spoiling as much as we are able to for the Planet of the Apes franchise. I mean, I'm sure there's some in that original franchise that might rank lower than that one, but it's not near the top. I know that. All right, cool. Well, I, on the other hand, I'm a fan of this franchise, and it's a very lucrative franchise, to say the least. Do you know how much money this franchise has made collectively?
1 billion.
No. I said no like you're like way off or anything.
Jesus.
You're fine. No, you're fine. You're halfway there. It's grossed about over $2 billion collectively.
Oh.
Yeah, $2.5 billion.
Oh, it's close to 3. I was gonna say 3, but I didn't want to overshoot.
Oh, okay.
But, that's cool.
So the success of this movie led to 4 sequel movies, a television series, an animated series, comic books, of course, merchandising. You had the film remake in 2001 by Tim Burton, and then a series reboot in 2011, which led to 4 additional movies. So there's 10 movies in all, plus all the other stuff I just listed. Very successful. It's a good franchise, even though some of us are apist.
Oh, that sounded way too close to a different word. Way too close.
Simeonist?
Yeah, I like that better. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, I apologize. This movie was based off of a novel. Were you aware of that?
Yeah. I didn't know that in the beginning, but I've seen it in the little bit of research I did.
Yeah, so that novel was written in 1963, and then this movie came out in 1968. The ending of this movie does differ from the novel. Rumors were that the author was upset, the author being
Pierre.
The author being Pierre Boulle.
I was going to say Boulle.
Boulle?
Frenchy? Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, it's French. Yeah, it's French, yeah. I was gonna say Peter Boyle and like completely
Jesus.
Americanized his fucking name.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. What was
That's
that?
why I was like, where is it in my
Oh my
notes?
God.
Written by Pierre Boulez. Um, they said that he was upset, but he came to like the ending of the
What
movie,
was he upset about?
and just because it was different from his
Oh,
novel.
okay.
Yeah, so the ending in his novel, again, spoiler alert for anything Planet of the Apes related. The ending of his novel was more akin to what you probably would have seen in the Tim Burton one. I'm saying probably. I know I've seen that movie, but I don't remember it. But in his novel, they did go to a different planet, and when they left that planet and they escaped from that planet, made it back home to Earth to find out that Earth had evolved the exact same way where apes were ruling that planet.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
So
Because when they came back, the last scene, I think they showed like the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, but instead of Abraham Lincoln, I mean, it was Abraham
mm,
Lincoln, but he looked like a chimpanzee. I was like, or,
yes,
whatever
yeah.
version of monkey they were. I'm like, oh, okay.
Apes,
Apes,
not monkeys. It's
chimpanzee.
different.
They got orangutans in here.
Yeah, orangutans are apes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
okay.
not chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees are apes.
Oh.
I'm just saying. You said monkey. I'm saying they're not monkeys.
You're right.
They're apes.
Right.
It's
You're right.
different.
You're right. I'm derogatory. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let
Damn.
let's say apes.
Gosh.
Sorry.
Justice for apes and monkeys. Monkeys have tails. All right. Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean by that. I do remember growing up, my dad watching some of these movies and just kind of like walking in out the room, his room, while he's watching the Planet of the Apes movies. So I wasn't completely ignorant to the franchise when the new ones came out. Um, and then I really I fell in love with it. I thought the first one was really good, and then when Matt Reeves took over for the next two, it was like those are just great films.
So you've seen this before. You've seen this first version, Planet Apes original before.
I don't remember which one my dad was watching, to be honest.
Okay.
I I don't remember which one he was watching. Like I really don't. So this was pretty much, it was weird. This was like a first watch for me, but like I knew what was gonna happen. Like the ending the ending of the movie was not a surprise to me. Like I was actually looking forward to the ending just to see how it would be, come off. Was the ending a surprise for you, or did you know what was happening the whole time?
No, I had no idea. I was upset the whole time.
Oh shit. Oh, for real?
Besides the whole besides the whole ape thing, I was just kind of upset of like these scientist guys on this like foreign planet, and they're just like treating it like it's Earth, and I'm like, you don't know what's in that water, or you don't know what's in that sand, you don't know anything.
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, they had Homeboy run a test on the soil sample.
So
with yeah, I guess he had whatever he had in his fucking kit that allowed him to run tests on the soil and get back results
immediately.
instantly.
You know how long it takes for bacteria to grow? That's like a 2-week process accelerated with what we have now. I can't imagine what they're doing in 1960 something, because their technology did not.
What year exactly?
Yeah.
What year did you guys leave from? Right? I don't know.
Their technology did not move forward, so they have whatever blood. Clean that up. That's what they had, and they were just I'm like, okay, scientist dudes.
Unless the movie was set in our future and then they went another few thousand years in the future, I guess. I don't know.
I think he did have the year on Earth when they were showing the difference, and I forgot to note it. I know the year on
I did
for
too.
them was like 2638 or some bullshit like that.
3978 was a final
3978, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot to note what Earth was at.
At the beginning, right? Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, so that was pretty strange. All right, so get into the movie here. three astronauts wake up from hibernation after their ship crash landed on an unknown planet in the year 3978. The three men gather their supplies and begin to search for food, water, and any signs of life. They eventually find a group of primitive humans who are then hunted by apes. Yep, on this planet, the apes are the intelligent species. The astronauts are either killed or captured, with our main protagonist, Taylor, played by the legendary and problematic Charlton Heston, being the only survivor. After revealing that he can speak and that he's not like the other humans, two ape scientists, Zira and Cornelius, become fascinated with him and try to understand how this is possible. The leader of their civilization, Dr. Zaius, fears the destruction that these answers in general and that man in particular can cause to his society, so he puts Taylor in trial with the goal to have him killed. Taylor escapes with the good apes. They go to a secret cave where they look for proof that they are not heretics. Dr. Zaius catches up to them, reveals that he is aware of the cave and knows about the secrets and dangers of man. He destroys the evidence of man's intelligence, allows Taylor to escape, and arrests Zira and Cornelius. Taylor then discovers that he has been on Earth the entire time when he sees the destroyed Statue of Liberty.
I mean,
That is our summary.
that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
So
it.
my understanding, right, is that reveal at the end was just huge in 1968. Like that was on like Darth Vader level of like reveal,
Okay,
you know.
that's extreme,
And
but yeah, it was up there.
well, yeah. So I want to know how the reveal felt for you, because I already knew about it, which bummed me out because I really wish I could have gotten that first reaction. So like, what was that reaction like for you when you saw? And we had that the iconic, because I know the quote at the end, you know, the "God, you maniacs who blew it up, God damn you all to hell." So how was that for you seeing it for the first time?
Yeah, Taylor distracted me. I was like, him, him on the ground shouting and screaming, it just distracted me. To be very honest, I was already over him by a lot, so
Oh
he
my
bothered me.
god.
He bothered me the whole damn movie, and I
Oh,
was like, all
the
right,
whole
the whole
movie.
movie he bothered me.
Yeah.
Um, no, you know what? He was okay until he started speaking, and then I was like, oh, I
Oh
wish
my
you had
god.
stopped speaking.
Listen, I wrote a note in here where I'm like, Nova was probably liking him more before he started to learn, like before he could speak again, because he wouldn't shut up. Like, as it was like he was trying to make up for all the time he lost not being able to speak, and he just kept fucking
Yeah.
just filling up the screen time. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, but I was not aware that I didn't know anything about the ending, so yeah, this was a genuine reaction for me. So I was like, oh, okay, so now everything makes sense. But yeah, it was kind of shocking because I didn't
Mm,
realize that they were on Earth still, or that he was on Earth, or they made it back on Earth because the whole crash landing thing, I kind of they kind of yada yada that. I don't really understand how they got back to Earth. Because they were
yeah.
traveling in one direction and the universe keeps expanding, so it's not like he could circle back around.
Well, weren't they? No, I thought they were making their return trip to Earth. And
Oh,
because they were already, when he put himself to sleep, they were already 700 years away from Earth,
right.
or have been gone for 700 years. So I thought that they were making a return trip back to Earth, but they got knocked off course and ended up on a alien planet, a different planet. That's how I took it.
I guess I missed that part because I thought they were just continuing on in whatever direction they were trying to do because
Mm,
and yeah. Yeah, I just thought they would continue on in what direction they were. So I didn't know how they got back to Earth. But yeah, I was definitely shocked of oh, okay. What the hell? But
yeah,
it definitely
yeah.
yeah, it wasn't a bad thematic reveal. It wasn't bad, but I was distracted by Taylor on the ground. Damn you to hell, you blew it up
He was a
thing.
lot. Man, dude, that line. So, a quick aside, right? We're both Archer fans, and I've recently finished an Archer rewatch.
Hmm.
That I have to. I'm gonna reveal this, confess this. The Archer rewatch is what encouraged me to put this movie on the list. Um, there's several times where Krieger throughout the series, if you remember, Krieger does the God damn you, out the hell, and he's like screaming, and he's like, no. Whenever one of his like inventions are destroyed, his lab is destroyed, or I don't know if you can remember that. I know you haven't watched Archer as recently as I have, but he does it multiple times throughout the series.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole time, whenever he did it, I'm cracking up because I knew that this is him. They're playing tribute to the end of Planet of the Apes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I missed it because I
Yeah.
didn't I had
So
incidents. I didn't know.
yeah.
I do
Yeah.
faintly remember him doing that, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it was just funny. It was just him being
He
him.
literally he drops to his knees, he looks up to the sky, and he says, god damn you, like that is literally shot for shot he's doing that.
Okay.
So I'd already want to watch this movie, and that Archer rewatch, he did it so much time, it just like conditioned me. I was like, fuck it, let me finally watch this movie.
I like it.
So it was because of Archer why we did this. Yeah, 100%. Taylor, man, let's talk about our lead protagonist. There's a point in time where I'm like, are we supposed to like this guy?
Yeah.
Because he comes off as so the movie starts off with a Charlton Heston monologue, which I thought was bold. But I liked it. I thought it was cool. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I think it was clearly them leaning on to like letting us know that this is the dude who's supposed to carry the movie, and they didn't shy away from it. So he starts off with this long ass monologue. The other 3 astronauts are sleeping. So there's actually 4 astronauts, folks, but in true 60s fashion, they killed the woman astronaut before they could even land and before she can even say a line of dialogue.
Yeah. But then Taylor
Mm-hmm.
reveals that she pretty much was just there to be an incubus for them.
Yes.
And I was like, oh,
yes.
That's why I started like, all right,
Yes.
I'm over this guy.
Yeah.
I don't.
That, which it was funny because I thought he had given her like a little longing look before he went into hibernation himself. So I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. And then she dies right away, and he did not give a fuck. And the other astronaut was like, you don't seem very broken up. And he was like, she's been dead for over a year. Like, who cares? I was like, God damn. Yeah. But you guys just found out. That doesn't really matter.
Right.
And then that revealed that she was just a breeding machine was kind of tough, which also, that is not how repopulation works. You can't put 3 dudes on 1 woman and be like, you're going to populate someplace, because you're going to have a bunch of incest babies running around. Like that, there is a number of people you need to be able to repopulate somebody, and I'm pretty sure that was common knowledge or should have been known by the scientific community in the 60s.
Yeah.
So why would they send 3 dudes and 1 woman to go and do this? I just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit. They did not give a shit. They was like, here's a pretty blonde girl and 3 dudes, and we'll make it work. And yeah, hell yeah, they're definitely about to have some incest there to get that to even work. Then everybody's gonna be eventually cousins, and then I don't know how many times you have to go with 4 people with 3 dudes and a girl before like they're not related. I assume pretty significantly a long time. I agree. Yeah. I actually did like the beginning monologue.
Yeah,
I thought that he brought up some very good points and a nice introduction into what the movie potentially could be about. Mm-hmm. But then they just kind of abandoned it, which all right. So I actually wrote this down. Taylor basically says, I hope somewhere out there there's something better than us. Where I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I thought from there I thought they were gonna just bring about this better world here, but it did not. So yeah, and then it was kind of depressing for sure. I thought the people were dead at first, like how they were situated with their arms crossed, and he was
in the ship?
in the ship. I thought they all had perished already, and he was like the only one alive, and I was like, oh. Well, that sucks. I was like, oh, that sucks. I felt kind of bad for him. I was like, oh, damn. Like, because they all looked like they were kind of in caskets already, and he was the last one alive. Then he, like, shot himself up with something. No explanation of what that was. I mean, now I know it's probably some kind of sedative, but I was like, it looked like he was killing himself. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay.
I thought he was taking, like, I don't know. At first, I thought he was going to take like a blood sample for some reason, but he never really did that either. So I don't know what it was. Yeah, I guess it was
Yeah, I
unsettling. Wow.
assumed it was some kind of sedative based on them sleeping for 18 months or however long he said, because there was no they weren't hooked up to anything. They weren't hooked up to any kind of
No, I mean
nutrients.
there was like the bar thing swinging over their
What was
head, but
that?
I'm like, I don't know.
Even if you like significantly slow down, you still need nutrients. You still need water, some kind of food
Yeah.
source,
Yep.
something. So like,
Yeah.
they're in my mind they just died. But okay, I guess the swinging arm did something.
Hey,
But
this whole thing could have been a fever dream as well.
it could be because we're not plants. We don't like
Yeah.
observe like that. So it has to be injected
No.
or ate or something has to happen. And
Yeah.
there was nothing hooked up. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
They just skipped over all of
That's
that
fine. That's
100%.
fine. We could yada
Yeah.
yada science at that time. It's fine.
Sure. Sure. Um. I want to comment on what you talked about with the whole, because you saw Taylor lamenting the destruction of man,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In that opening monologue, which, yeah, the movie went away from that, but it circled back to it very hard at the
Yeah.
end. But like Taylor, like his stance was inconsistent because he also seemed to have. You would think that he and Dr. Zaius would be more like-minded. Dr. Zaius being the lead, the leader of the Ape Society, um, because his whole thing was like men being the harbinger of death, right? And when he revealed that he knew that that cave existed and that there were men here before, maybe even men with intelligent life, the quote he has here is from when he was talking about, yes, I do know that there man was here before, and he said, from the evidence he's seen, I believe his wisdom must walk hand in hand with his idiocy. His emotions must rule his brain.
Mhm.
He must be a warlike creature who gives battle to everything around him, even himself. That was such a profound statement, or it should have been more profound. Like, that should have connected with Taylor on a deeper level, because that echoes some of what he was saying in that opening monologue. And Taylor was like, yeah, fuck off, dog. Like, I'm out of here. Like, it just like went right over his head. He glossed over it. I was like, whoa, this guy is like, yeah, he tried to kill you and he was, held you. He couldn't get past the whole, like, I was being held captive the whole time, which I get, that's like dehumanizing and upsetting and everything. But when you get down to it, like when he explains his reasons, I thought there was room there for him to empathize with Zaius a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was just. I agree. I think he was just too. He was too distracted. The fact that they treated him like animals, and he believed he was just above. He believed that he was above them. They believe that they're above him, and they're just that. So he didn't give a shit what they have to say. He was just like, "I'm out." Which I still don't know what his
Yeah.
plan was of riding out along the shoreline on his horse to what to do what I don't know.
To find other humans, I guess. To find, because there's more that they're hiding, right? We know that there are humans on this planet
Yeah,
even before we found out this was Earth. So in his mind is like, especially with the arrogance and ego of like, well, humanity um is always going to be the more dominant
yeah,
species. He's like, when are we going to find them? So that's how I took that to be.
yeah.
But he even flipped though, because at the end with that iconic line about "God damn you all to hell," you know who he's damning in that situation?
Uh, no. Who's he damning? Okay, I
Humanity,
thought so.
not the
Okay, okay,
apes.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, because when he said "you maniacs," and this is kind of, and I got this. There's a tidbit that's not here, but apparently there was a nuclear war, is what happened. I think I guess
Mm,
explored in other
yeah,
movies, but that's not really said here. I guess you were supposed to assume that from the broken up Statue of Liberty, maybe, but it does say in the synopsis of when you read about the show, is that there was a nuclear war.
okay.
So when he says "you maniacs, you blew it up," he's talking about humanity, mankind, and he's damning them to hell.
Yeah.
For so yeah, so it's like you're right there with Dr. Zaius. I don't know. there were some missed opportunities for sure.
Yeah, like I said, he was all over the place. Like I didn't think he was likable at all. He was arrogant, he was
Hmm.
cocky. He
Yeah.
constantly talks down to everybody else. In fact, as soon as they touched down and they
Oh
jumped
yeah.
in the water, and then they got their clothes stolen for some reason, and then they meet the group of humans that were there. The first thing he says is, "Oh, if this is all there is, we'll be running this place in 6 months." I was like, "Damn, colonizer!"
He did.
Like Jesus
He
Christ,
did.
he didn't think
He
anything
did.
of these people. Like immediately, oh, I
He
can rule these
did.
people, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So he had a hell of a superiority complex, which
Yeah,
it just
absolutely.
threw me.
To be honest, I feel like if they were left to their own devices, like if the apes didn't kidnap them, those other two astronauts would have killed Taylor. Because ain't no way in hell. Like that guy is so just annoying and just he was talking down to them the whole time. I don't see how stranded alone on that planet how they would put up with him for much longer than that.
That is fair. That is actually fair.
Yeah. So approaching when they find those people, right?
Mhm.
The whole like jump in a random lake, and I know you talked about you feeling a little bit better at the end of the movie when you found out it was Earth. That doesn't change the fact that they didn't know they weren't on
Oh yeah.
Earth. Yeah, I say they have no idea that this water is safe, right? And they just jumped in it. But I guess it doesn't matter because either they get irradiated, some space sea creature kills them, they get some disease or infection from being in that water, or they die of thirst, right? So I guess it's kind of a like choose your way of dying type of deal at this point in time because they were down to like 8 ounces of water, but they had passed the scarecrows. And to me, like the scarecrows indicate that there's other life around. Right? That's not a naturally formed thing. So for them to just leave all their supplies and gear unattended and just to be frivolously just splashing around like a bunch of fucking schoolgirls in the lake, like I just don't understand like what the hell that was about.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a line from you. They were dum-dums. They were absolute dum-dums. Like that, it made no sense. I said the exact same thing. I was like, scarecrows are there, and even if they don't traditionally look like scarecrows, they still represented a scarecrow, and he identified it himself. I'm like, so you see it's a
Yeah.
scarecrow. Scarecrows are used to warn you. What you
Yeah.
don't know yet, but they warn you. So to jump in to be in a water source,
Guard down.
like,
Oh.
I was like, so how they know that water wasn't like acid? I mean, they have no idea
Yeah.
what's going on. Somebody could have jumped in and came up
Li-
just skin and bones. I'm like, oh, well, I should
you
jump in.
you telling me that they only have shit to test the rocks and soil, but nothing to test the fucking water?
Right. I
Like,
mean,
you understand?
they could
Like,
have
come
they,
on, like, run a quick
they could
test.
have done that, and the
Uh,
little literal 10 seconds of this is safe. Like all you have to do is wait.
yeah.
They did no.
So that was
That was
wild.
kind of wild because they're all supposed to
Yeah.
be like these
Uh,
smart astronaut
they're scientists.
scientists. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't
Or
or
maybe not.
oh
Because how smart do you have to be to sign up for a mission that's going to take you away from home for 700 plus years?
I mean I think still pretty smart because you have to yeah
You think that the brightest minds are signing up for that shit?
yeah because once you know as much as you know like on Earth, now you're starting to explore beyond Earth and you want to know the answer. Plus you have to have somebody on you have to have somebody who can run the damn ship at the end of the day. Like people
Yeah, you could be a pilot. That's one like, and you could train somebody to fly a ship. But like, I'm saying, I don't know, man. I feel like this was a, hey, man, we have this mission that's coming up, and this is what it entails. This is the scope of it. However, when you return, everyone that you know and love will die. Who wants to go? And I think like a couple of the rejects in the back of the class was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go. I'll do it." Like I don't think they cherry picked their best and brightest to go on this fucking mission because you're losing them forever.
I mean, they're supposed to come back and be able to now
After,
repopulate and say, everything they
uh,
find and, everything that's out there. You can't just have like Joe Schmo idiot out there talking about like, well, I saw a bright light. And you're like,
yeah,
what? What the fuck is that? So
I mean, yes. Okay, I guess they're not complete
Yeah.
morons, but I'm just saying I don't think they sent their best
Yeah. Maybe they're
on this
maybe they're
mission.
the
That's all I'm
best and
saying.
brightest, but even the most
Like a rocket
common,
scientist is a rocket scientist, I
yeah.
guess. But I feel like everything we do in life, there's levels to this shit.
Oh, for sure.
And as far as their levels are concerned, they were the dum dums of their group. Probably smarter than the average person, yes, but still dum dums
Yeah.
amongst the NASA team or who, whatever. Because it wasn't NASA. I forgot what the letters were. It
Yeah.
was
Something
different,
else.
but
But
yeah.
any common scientist is not going to see a bottle of liquid and test it by drinking it or jumping in it. Like they're not. Like even an elementary school teacher is not gonna do that. They're like,
Yeah, that's true too.
so they were just dumb
So I don't
dumbs.
know.
You know
I
something
don't
else that
know.
bothered me? I don't know,
Uh-huh.
and this is just a I don't know what I want to call it, but it bothered me that when they all appeared after the 18-month sleep or whatever, their beards were just like nicely trimmed. I was like, oh, how?
I was I was hoping to see the lady's beard. I was like,
Now she got a beard
like,
too.
what, like I know. I was disappointed when she didn't have one.
Yeah.
Instead, she was mummified, which we're not going to talk about
Okay.
the conditions that's needed to mummify a body.
Yeah.
Um,
They
yeah,
had
whatever.
perfectly trimmed beards and their teeth were perfect. I was like, oh, what was that word? Like, how do you not brush your teeth for 18
Um,
months?
was there like maybe there was like a AI or like a robot or something in
Brushing
there
their teeth
or
for them?
taking care of them, grooming them. I don't know, man.
Fine.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Skip over it.
All right. So after they discover the primitive humans,
Hmm.
and they frolic with them a little bit or
Hmm.
look down on them, the apes come out, start hunting the humans.
Immediately.
That's out of nowhere.
I said, oh, murder. I was like, damn, this is crazy. This was wild. There was no
And
warning.
it wasn't. No, and it wasn't like the humans were posing a threat. They were just out there like grazing, just
Mhm.
like getting some food, just chilling. And these apes just come out here just rounding people up, stringing them up. It was very aggressive. How did you feel about this entrance of the apes coming in on horseback?
I did like the introduction of the apes. Like you hear the horn, everybody kind of freezes. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of see like things
Mm-hmm.
shaking. And you're like, oh, what's coming? What's coming? And the movie doesn't really rush it. They really sit in that. It becomes kind of like a little bit of a horror movie of like, oh, what's that?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I think movies nowadays, like you'd most of the times you see who the bad guy is almost immediately, but this one they make you wait quite a bit of time, at least 20 minutes if my
30. It was
30
30
minutes,
minutes.
okay, before you
Yeah.
finally see like
Mm-hmm.
who it is and who's like quote unquote the bad guy. Um, so I think it makes their build. I think the slow build help with their arrival to make it like, oh, okay, cool, I'm in it, I get it.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. That's confidence.
There's also a religious aspect to the Society of the Apes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we did see that.
Cornelius read from a scroll later in the movie, and I think this will help us in understanding why they were hunting the humans, right?
Hmm.
So the scroll says, beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn.
Hmm.
Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport or lust or greed. Yeah, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and
Yeah,
yours. Shun him, drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is a harbinger of death.
yeah. Ego and Kane there.
S-
Um,
So with that coloring that scene, it makes sense. You just don't want these creatures around you. You don't want them gathering in large numbers. That you have to do that to protect your civilization is, I think, the mentality of the
yeah,
apes.
yeah, I get it. After you get to the end, it's finally like, oh, I think I
Well,
written
yes,
I
yeah,
wrote down several times. They really hate humans. They really hate humans.
yep,
Like it was just so obvious. Like
yeah,
you know, um, but the sometimes they say the thing that you hate the most is the thing that you see within yourself. Because I saw them as humans. Like they were on horseback, they had rifles, they
Mm-hmm.
had uniforms, they
Yeah.
had military formation. Like that is human life. They just adapted it and then,
Yes.
kind of said, our humans are bad, but they're doing the exact same thing.
You know, and you see that one of the interesting things about this movie, and when you compare it with the sequel, the reboot in 2011, you see that transformation of the apes becoming more human like what you're talking about. So over the course of the movies, you see the apes go from being, just primitive beasts to starting to learn and understand and comprehend their own intelligence, and then becoming territorial, the fear that's inside of you that leads you to go to war and to kill and defend yourself. You see that transformation. It's very interesting to see. So you get a better sense of how the apes get to what we see in this movie,
Yeah.
right? This movie, it's flipped where the apes aren't in the cages, the humans are in the cages in this movie. So I just found that to be very interesting. The latest movie in the series that comes out is more reflective of this type of world than what the 2011 movie did. But I just found that very interesting how they had them in the chains and the shackles and all of
Yeah.
that. It was very interesting to see. Like you said, they hate them. They're like, no, these
Yeah.
are less
Yeah,
than.
they call them dirty, savages, disease carrier, primitive, dangerous. They blasted them, especially Taylor, with that water hose. I'm like, this
The
man's skin
hose,
is
yeah,
gone. Like, stop playing with me.
yeah. Hey, they really hit him with a hose. You know that?
Oh, that was a real? That wasn't. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Charlton Heston got hit with a hose. I saw that it said that he was actually sick for a large part of the movie,
Yeah, I saw
filming for the
that he had a
movie.
flu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, which played into things like he was like him not being able to speak for that whole point of time. I don't know if they wrote that in because he wasn't doing well with his voice.
It makes
But I think that
sense.
was part of it as well. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
also, I don't know why they did just wait 4 weeks for him to get over this cold, but okay,
I don't know,
okay.
tight schedule. And then, dude, they filmed this movie in May to August in the summer months.
Ooh.
It was so fucking hot, and obviously from the terrain, they're filming in like desert terrains and shit. Dude, they were dying on set. It was
I
crazy.
said that. I was
The
looking at when they
Yeah,
made their journey from the crash site to the jungle area. I was like,
mm-hmm,
there's no way they made this like with 3 days worth of water. They would have went through that in the first day. Like no
100%,
fucking way. There's no cover, just
hundred
desert. I'm
percent.
like, they're dead. They are dead. But all right, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, after this movie, they did the rest of the movie. They filmed the rest of them during the winter time because the heat was so
That's
unbearable.
funny. They said, "Oops."
All right, so we get introduced shortly after to Dr. Zira and Cornelius, right?
Mhm.
These are the scientists. So this ape society, the culture is set up where you have your orangutans. The orangutans are like your leaders, politicians, religious figures. You have the gorillas, which are like your law enforcement,
Yeah,
and then the chimpanzees are your
yeah,
scientists. Um, so Zira and Cornelius are chimps, and Zira takes a liking to Taylor because she recognizes there's something different about him, and he can't speak because while they were rounding everyone up, he got shot in his neck somehow and survived. He didn't die from that, but he wasn't able to speak for a large part of the movie because of the gunshot to his neck. Even
no,
though,
I
um,
thought
uh
I
huh.
thought because they put a probe down his throat, so I thought he couldn't speak because of the probe. Like it maybe damaged his vocal cords,
Oh.
so it wasn't until they got healed up.
Oh, I missed that then. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes way more sense. Okay, okay, okay. I was like, what the fuck? That's not how that
yeah.
works.
If he
If the
truly got shot
gunshot,
in his neck, he should have been dead. So I assume it just kind of
you'd have been
grazed
dead.
him, and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. If that bullet damaged your vocal cords where you couldn't talk, you should have
yeah.
died. Okay, I was so confused this whole time. I was like, what the? So I must have missed
I don't
that.
know what the probe was
Um,
for. I don't. They just held him down and shoved the probe down his throat, and was like, I don't know what it was doing, but I was like, all right, and then couldn't talk after
Just
that.
running
I
tests.
guess.
Yeah. So the other two scientists that were with him, there was a black scientist and another white guy. The black guy, in true '60s fashion, he gets shot like almost immediately, so he's out of the
He did
picture.
get killed, and then
And then the
stuffed.
other white guy, and then they stuffed him. He was in a fucking
Yeah,
museum. It was
it's
crazy.
fucked up.
The other white guy got captured, but they lobotomized him, so he was completely out of the picture after
Yeah.
that. Um, okay, so when they capture him, they introduce him to we get Nova. Nova is in this. She doesn't speak the entire time. That's a good check, I guess. Like she just is an attractive brunette to come and just hang out in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about Nova. She she's obviously a victim, right? She's livestock, she's property. She's being hunted.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know how old she's supposed to be. Somewhere. I don't know. So we assume she's been hunted her whole entire life. Um, then she's supposedly saved because now Taylor is, takes some kind of liking to her. He feels like she's his only connection. But then he starts treating her kind of the same way. Like he's grabbing at her, dragging her
Yeah,
around, making decisions for her. All of a sudden, she on a fucking horse, she's going down the street. She's like, "What the hell?" Okay, talking at
yeah.
her, and
She essentially becomes his property. It feels like.
exactly. I don't think that's accidental. I think they're
Yeah,
in a way showing what the apes are, concerned about or scared of right there, like immediately. He's not even taking time. He's just doing exactly what they're doing and saying and just making her his property. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing?
yeah, yeah. I I really don't know what to make of that
I
character
don't
either.
either. Like, what is she
And
supposed to be except for just a pretty person for him?
a concubine. Like I literally wrote something like, "Oh, like he just has he's laying with his concubine." Like they were like spooning in a prison cell at one point,
I mean,
But
Zira literally presented her that way. She's like, "Oh, here's this girl, you're gonna like her," and then starts smiling at them when he throws her in a
yeah.
cave. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I
So
guess."
I took that like scientifically. She wanted to see how the two would interact with each other, just trying to gain some data. The problem is we don't know anything about Nova's motivations. We don't know is if she's just like, oh, they're spooning in a cage. Well, I'm warmer this way, right?
Yeah,
Um, oh, she seems to be like following this guy around. Well, he's obviously the biggest, strongest human
yeah,
around
he's
here. He's more
tall
intelligent.
and
So,
yeah,
right? So maybe everything she's doing is from a primitive standpoint where it's like when we talk about primitive, what is the animal kingdom, what is it all about? Is about reproducing, right? That's one of the main driving factors, and finding a mate that you can reproduce with. So
sure.
he's presenting all of that stuff: intelligence, strength, all that stuff, traits that you would want to carry on. So is she just operating off of that base instinct and that or is there more? We have no idea. That's why even in my synopsis I left her out, because I don't know what to make of that character at all.
Okay.
But Zira and Cornelius, they were so adamant in exploring, because they could realize the increased intelligence that Taylor had when compared to the other humans. And Dr. Zaius just wasn't having it,
Yeah.
right? When Taylor escaped, we got another one of those great lines. Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape.
Yeah.
Another iconic line from the film. Which that was cool. That was a good reveal, because that was another line I was waiting for to see how that would. I was aware of the line, but I didn't hear it see it in action.
Hmm.
But what did you think of that whole trial sequence? And it became like a philosophical battle for a little bit there. Did that take you out of the movie? Did you think it slowed it down too much, or did you find that to be interesting?
I don't think it didn't take me out of the movie, and I did find it interesting because
Mm.
it because Zira, Dr. Zira, is that correct?
Zero,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Zira was the one, I guess, arguing for, and then they had this kind of tribal, thing arguing against. So they
Yeah.
had that's where that line that I spoke about earlier came from, where they were charging him under ape law, and she was fighting for, well, if he's being charged as an ape, then he has certain protection, and they're like, no, he's human, he doesn't have rights. So then she's like, well, then what are you charging? Like, how can
Hmm.
you charge somebody under something
Yeah.
that doesn't apply to
Yes.
them? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I was like, that's a
I
banger.
got him.
That's a banger.
Yeah, yeah, that's good because why are we even
Yeah,
here in
why are we
this
here?
courtroom?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
If it doesn't apply to
yeah,
them, then
that's
how you
like
gonna break a law that doesn't apply to you? Like,
exactly right. Like that's like someone's pet attacks someone, and then they try and take the pet to court. It's like what? Like, what are we doing
yeah,
here? You know? So that was very interesting. I liked it too. I thought that that whole philosophical, the courtroom stuff, unexpected for a movie like
yeah.
this, but I thought it was very effective. hundred
I
percent.
thought it was too. After that, they were just pretty much like, seize him when you can't do anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
all right,
yeah,
well,
yeah. Fuck all this
yeah,
talk.
just,
Just
throw him out or whatever.
they're like, you're right. Why are we even doing this trial? Let's just lock them up. Let's kill him and lock you guys up. They're like, oh yeah, why are we doing this? Yeah, so it is silly in that sense where it doesn't even make sense to put something that doesn't have rights on trial, but he had intelligence and he could speak. Like people talk about how intelligence, like I mean, let's take a chimpanzee in real life. Like if a chimpanzee breaks in someplace, right, and steals a bunch of food or whatever, and it turns out that chimpanzee has intelligence and can speak, like what happens? Would we in real life today bring that chimp to court? Would they press charges against the chimp?
No.
Nah, they'll probably they'll lock it up in a
Oh,
lab
they're
and run
definitely
tests on it
testing
is
that
what they
shit.
would do.
That shit will never see the light of day. 100%.
So that brings me to one of the other main themes I feel like in this
Hmm.
movie, and it's the separation of church and state, like faith and science actually, right? And like Taylor addresses at the end, towards the end of the movie, because there was a lot of like there's a lot of talking that happens in this movie, you know, and a lot of
Hmm.
standoffs. And after they got to the cave, you know, Taylor addressed the fact that because of Dr. Zaius's religious beliefs, it prevents him from engaging in scientific research even when the unexplained is being presented to him. So at that time, I was wondering, is the movie saying that religion is a crutch that hampers or a burden that hampers scientific advancement? I thought that's what they were going, but then after that, we found out that no, Zaius actually knew what was going on and he was just afraid. So I guess that doesn't work as much, but to the rest, it is still something that happens in the movie where you have because they're charging Cornelius and Zira with heresy.
Hmm.
That's what they're charging them
Yeah.
with, right? Like this is like old. You can't get charged with heresy right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, so I found that like that little they dip their toe into the whole religion thing, and put it up against science and how those are conflicting, um, you know, forces. Like, did you pick up on any of that? You had any thoughts on that?
That's actually a great call out, because that is we're seeing that almost right now, right? With like the separation of
Mm-hmm.
church and state, and the fact that it's supposed to be separated, um but
Yeah.
one certainly drives the other. Um and it's used as a justification for, you know, heinous acts and
Policy.
policies and heinous
Yeah.
acts, like
Yeah.
in order to
Yep.
to uh in order to uh, make whatever god. I don't know if they had like a god or something else. I don't know, because when he
Mm-hmm.
explained the scroll, I didn't know if that person was like a god and, you know, like wrote out the laws, or if that was just a regular chimpanzee that just happened to be like older. I couldn't really tell. And, you know, maybe it's not worth the
Yeah.
conversation, but, you know, either way, they had something that they were worshiping, because we see that. And yeah, they everybody's
Yeah. I
afraid to
think
go
it's
against that.
understood that it that whatever was written on a scroll, whether or not it came directly from a deity, but it was a representative of the deity's
Yeah,
like
it's like the
thoughts.
Ten
So
Commandments,
yeah.
or
Yes, the
the
Bible
Bible.
itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fair. Um, Before we move on, I don't know if you're gonna move on yet, but something else I wanted to point out in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it thematically throughout the entire movie, just in general. Like, only Zira was really like upset, really convinced that this person was not like the others, but everyone else immediately was like, "Oh, you taught him a trick. Oh, he's just mimicking me.
Yes.
Oh, he's, and these are
Yeah.
very complex things. Like dexterity is what really separates us from everybody else. The fact that we can move our
Yes.
individual digits like that. So, well, most things. There's other things that can, but for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like this is very advanced intelligence or body mechanics just in general. And they just completely
Hmm.
were like, "Yeah, you just told him that." And it's like, okay. Even Cornelius, when she finally shows him Cornelius or Cornelius to him, and Cornelius is literally asking questions and he's answering it by writing it down because he still can't speak at this point. He's like, "Oh, you must have taught
Hmm.
him this." I'm like, how the fuck would she have taught him that?
How?
Like, how was she taught him what you're
How?
gonna ask?
To understand language and to be able to write it out
Right,
and manipulate the tool to use it, because as far as we're concerned, those other humans can't write. They can't read, they can't write.
right,
They can barely understand what's being said to them as far as we know.
right.
Yeah.
Then there's the, he starts to explain where he's from and that he was on a, flight, and they're like, "Oh, flight is impossible." I was like, how advanced
Yes.
are you guys? Because
No, okay. So that is huge in the movie too, because it shows that when they go to the cave scene, when he talked about the remains from 1,300 years ago and then the remains from 2,000 years ago, remember he said that the 2,000-year-old remains are more
he did say
advanced.
that, yeah.
So what I think happened is that society advanced to a certain point. There was a nuclear
They
war,
wiped out
wiped
all smart
everything
people.
out.
Then they have to start over.
Well, they wiped out everything, yeah. Well, I mean, most people, yeah. And then the apes somehow evolved into being a dominant species, but now we're starting over. So there's a new year, zero at this point in time.
Mm,
So now they have to go through their own technological advances. And actually, in the book, the apes were further along. They had cars and all this
right.
stuff, but the budget wouldn't allow them to convey that in film. So they dialed them back to a more not prim, but a more pre technological era of humankind. So they set the apes in an era where they didn't have as many
Yeah.
advancements. But the understanding is that over time they will get to cars and flight and all this other
Yeah.
stuff
But
over time.
as a scientist, not me, but as a scientist,
Mm.
they have guns. So if they understand trajectory and that, then they should
Oh shit!
understand that flight is possible. Can they do it yet? Maybe not, but they were just they were just convinced flight is impossible. And I'm like, how? How do you not see? And are they not
You're fucking right.
birds? Like, where are the animals at? They have horses. I assume they have fish. We didn't see it, but
We didn't see any. The horses were only other wildlife we
yeah.
saw. That's interesting. So going off of our actual history, when we discovered flight and when we discovered, nah, man, I don't know if you're quite right about that. Weren't firearms invented way before flight was?
No, yes, yes, firearms, yeah, definitely,
Uh
way
huh.
before flight. But
Yeah, way before.
no, I'm
Yeah.
just saying you should understand, or they should at least be aware of the physics that it's possible. Do they have the technology? There's engineering limits,
Mm.
and then there's physics limits. They're at an engineering limit of like they can
I
do it,
yes,
but to say it's
got you.
impossible is like
I
how
understand.
advanced are you? Because even back in
So
because Isaac Newton said flight was possible back in the 1400s, and we didn't do it
that sounds right. Yeah.
until two no fucking 4,000 years later. Which okay, we had the idea that it's possible, but could we do it? No.
400,
400,
four
I'm
hundred,
sorry.
four
I said
hundred, four hundred.
4,000.
Four
400.
yeah.
I,
You did, yeah,
I
yeah,
added
yeah.
a
That's what.
zero.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know what you meant, but yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what the fuck? 56.
Okay.
You're
Like,
5,600.
when is this?
Oh my God. Thank you, sir.
Okay, but I understand your
So it
point.
was
You're
it was just
absolutely right.
weird that
That
they were
yeah,
just so adamant that things
have
could
no
not
vision of
exist
yeah,
besides what they're currently in, and even to the point of
yeah.
their how they view Taylor as a human of, oh, he possibly can't do this. It's like even being able to mimic is a strong sign of intelligence. Like it's not
Yep,
something you just
yep.
are able to do. Even if I'm just repeating exactly what you said, it's still a sign of intelligence. So to not think that humans could evolve from just mimicking to now understanding to now reasoning is kind
Yeah.
of weird.
Especially their whole thing is that apes evolved from humans. Isn't that something they said in
They did
this?
say that. They did talk about evolution and that
Yeah.
it came from there. So I was like, oh, so you understand Darwin, but then no,
Yeah. So that means why can't Taylor be on the evolutionary path to become an ape then,
he
right?
could have been. He could have been early,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So I don't know.
But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I kind of
So
went on a tangent. But what I really wanted to point out was the thing that I saw, which I
oh.
was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Because you always hear about it, but you don't see about it. You don't. I haven't seen it, the real movie. But did you see in a courtroom, um, after everything kind of loses their mind because they're essentially like, even though they're presenting evidence that shows, they're right, the judges literally cover
Mhm.
their eyes, their ears, and their mouth. So they do the see no evil,
Oh, I
hear
missed
no
that.
evil,
See no,
speak no
hear no.
evil.
Yeah, speak no. Oh, I
You
missed
missed
that.
it.
That's dope. I
So they
did.
were
What
showing,
the
they're essentially
hell?
saying they don't want to see the evidence, they don't want discussion, they don't want facts. They're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So they literally do it,
Yeah.
which is just awesome. That point
That's
I
nice.
liked.
I like that. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
So Dr. Zaius is aware that humans were first. Cool. Why? And he's aware of the
Hmm.
cave. Cool. Why did he not blow up the cave before? Why did he
Before.
allow the
Yeah.
cave to exist?
I think hubris because they have the cave is in a part of forbidden lands that they're not supposed to go to. So I think he's just like, well, I told the citizens they're not supposed to go there, so no one's gonna go there and find it. Like it's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why take that chance? I don't know.
Why take that chance for somebody to
Yeah.
stumble for a young kid or something or a young chimpanzee? Because that's what exactly happened. Like,
Yeah.
scientists are trying to push things and trying to understand things, and they're starting to push the boundaries and limits, which is what scientists does, or science does in general. And they
Yep.
start stumbling onto things, and you're like, oh, well, you said we couldn't do this, but I stepped on the
Yeah.
line and I'm okay. So maybe I could go a little
Yeah.
further. And you're like, oh, okay. So it was kind of weird that he knew it existed completely. He knew the doll existed
Did
and did
nothing to
nothing to
hide it.
hide it
Yeah.
besides just, oh yeah, don't do that. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it worked for some
Well,
time,
okay.
but
Okay, so I'm a little so I think it's a little unclear of how much because I think Cornelius and Zira dug up the doll. Like
okay.
all that stuff wasn't there in the open. Because when you looked at it, I was like, this cave is a fucking archaeological dig site, is what it looked
Yeah.
like. So maybe um not Cornelius, Zaius saw the cave, yes. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it. It's because I had this question also while I was watching the movie. Like, if I feel that Cornelius dug this up because I don't think he had seen the doll before. The doll, he was spinning and trying to just explain everything away that he was being confronted with.
Yeah.
So I don't know what level of evidence that he saw
Okay.
prior to. And it makes me believe I don't think is whatever Zaius knows. I don't think it came from the cave, to be honest. I think he knew the cave was there, but I don't think. I think that his knowledge of all this stuff comes from elsewhere.
Okay. The
Either he's done more
scroll. Okay.
exploring, or people before apes before him passed down whatever information. I don't think. I feel that because even when they asked like what is he about to find out there, what Taylor's about to find, and he said his destiny or whatever. I think Zaius is fully aware of the previous history, the nuclear war. I think he's very aware of all that stuff, and he's keeping the history a secret, and that's where his power lies in controlling the history.
That's fair. Like, who wins a war
Yeah.
controls history, they say. So that's fine.
Yep. Yep. You think we've said all we had to say, or
So at the end, why does Taylor kiss Zira?
I don't know. That's gross and weird. It. Listen, man. I almost feel that Charlton Heston was like, I should kiss her. And they're like, what? Yeah, I should kiss her. No, that's weird. Like, that's like, for her, that's like kissing a dog on the mouth. People love dogs. I should kiss her. Charlton, you're not gonna kiss her. I'm gonna kiss her. Fuck. All right, Charlton. Just you can kiss her if you want. That's the only explanation I have in my mind
Fine.
because it was so weird. And she was like, "You're ugly though," and he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm still gonna lean in here for that." And I don't know. I don't know. That's how I explained it away. I thought I was weird as hell.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave it right there with you then. I'm gonna accept. All right.
All right. Well, let's rate this thing. For any newcomers, we rate our movies based on 5 categories: plot and writing, acting casting, production cinematography, music and sound, and cultural impact. Everything is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. Jill, for plot and writing, what do you have?
I I enjoyed the plot in a way, so I'm gonna give it a 6.
Next, I gave it a 7. Acting and casting, what do you have?
I didn't like any. I'm so sorry. I I was supposed to like Taylor and I absolutely did not, and that took me out of everything else. I like Zira a little. Um,
Yeah, so I didn't, and that's my fault. I didn't mention the cast
yeah.
really. Just really quick, we had Roddy McDowell as Cornelius, Kim Hunter as Zira, Maurice Evans, not the NBA player,
Oh my
as
God.
Dr. Zaius. Mo Evans, come on now,
Yeah.
and then Linda Harrison as Nova. Obviously, we know Charlton Heston was Taylor,
Yeah.
but yeah. So you weren't really blown away with the
No,
acting,
I
huh?
wasn't really blown away at all. I like Zira and what she did. So I'll give it a 3.
Mm-hmm. Damn, a 3. All right. I have a 6 for the acting. I thought Charlton Heston, he was over the top. He was unhinged sometimes. But I thought it was cool. I like the apes acting, the mannerisms, the way they walked and stuff. I thought they did a decent job. So I do have a 6. This is probably our widest gap ever in one category, which is hilarious. Um Not that I want to fight you for it or anything. Like my 6 is probably high. Production, cinematography, and visuals. What do you have there?
So this is where I'm gonna give them the credit for what you just gave them. Like how they were
Mm.
moving as apes and the makeup and all that stuff. Like I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was pretty good. It didn't look like cheap or bad. So I give that
Yeah.
a 7.
Okay. I have a 6 for that category. Yeah, the makeup looked really, really
Yeah.
good.
Especially, I mean, this is 1968, so
And they won awards for the costumes and something like that. Like they win awards for it. It was I thought coming into this, the ape mask stuff would have been cheesy and would have been like, what the fuck? Like it was perfectly
yeah,
fine, you know? And the problem is that we talked about how much money they put into the budget for the costuming, but they had to stay. I don't know if you saw it, they had to stay in costume when they were taking breaks and
yeah,
stuff because it took so much time to put it on and off. And they even fed them their food like as liquid,
yeah.
like their meals were like smoothies or
Yeah, I
whatever.
saw a
So
picture of
okay.
the Zira's character, and she was smoking a cigarette, but she was using like the little long thing because she couldn't put it to her lip.
Oh, music and sound.
Music and sound really didn't do anything for me this movie. I don't have anything that's like
Ooh,
super. Yeah, so I give it a 4.
4. They actually won a award for the score being original. I I thought the score was nice. I just there were parts where I thought the sound design wasn't as good, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. There were moments of quiet in the end that I thought could have been better.
Yeah, if they had some kind of like more heroic-ish thing towards the end, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I got the
Yeah.
drive, but I didn't get that. So I said 4, right?
Yeah, yeah. You said 4, yeah. I gave it a
Yeah,
6. You said 4. I'm not that far away, but I did enjoy the score
I'll give
overall.
it a 5.
Lastly, 5?
Yeah,
Okay. Lastly, cultural impact.
yeah, we always battle this one. I mean, it spawned a whole entire franchise. So you have to give it the
Yeah.
credit for that. So I gave it a 8.
Oh, nice. I give it a 7. Now I feel like I'm low. No, I gave it a 7 because same reason the franchise. It's not like the greatest franchise of all time, but I think it's a very underrated
Yeah.
franchise, and there's a lot of great movies within it, even with the duds that they have. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I gave it a
I
7.
mean, I give it an 8. I thought you were gonna higher. I thought you were gonna hit a 10, but that's okay. Um, but my 8 is grounded in I love the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil reference there. As you said in the beginning here, it's referenced all the time outside of this movie, in other pop culture other pop culture um bodies of work. So yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
that deserves the credit of that, and I'll give it the 8.
Nice. All right, so our final scores, you have a 5.8 for Planet of the Apes, and I have a 6.4.
Mm.
I'm happy with that. You happy with
Yeah,
that?
I'm good with that. Good with that.
Awesome. Well, that will do it for our real talk and banter on Planet of the Apes. To connect with us, to give us some feedback, or just say hello, email us at realtalkbanter@gmail.com. That's REEL talkbanter@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Take your dirty chimpanzee ape paws off with me.
That's not even. Just do it correctly. Gosh.
I don't know.
Take your paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
Oh, I like mine better.